I'll admit we haven't talked Hollywood in a while. There's a reason for this. Until just now, and I mean literally just now, John Murdy's been very quiet. Why? Well, he's basically working on getting all the finalized contracts for the Outside the Box property. And crossing the T's and dotting the lowercase j's has taken quite a long time. But as of today, apparently everything is finally done, and we can receive our fourth and final codename. Which, by the way, John Murdy has confirmed, due to a little bit of detective work, on Twitter, that it is not Mad Max and it is not Jurassic World. So anyone thinking it's either one of those properties, gotta try to guess something else. But apparently it does have something to do with the year that John Murdy was born. But we'll talk about that in another video. This video, however, is to talk about the code word that has been puzzling me since the day I first got it, which was Friday the 13th, ironically, in March, which was just a mere 4 days after Rock Festival came. Rock Festival took me 2 tries to get. I hope this is the only time I go after this codename, being Name Game version 2.0. Alright? Let me explain how this works. John Murdy goes on Twitter and says on the Horror Nights Twitter feed, I'm going to give you 4 hints. If you solve them, they reveal 4 names. The 4 names in and of themselves are not hints to the maze, but connected together they reveal the ultimate hint to the maze. If you solve these 4 hints and find these 4 names, you have to figure out what the connection is between them. Alright. Now, first off, I'm going to give a shout out to my good friend Tristan, HHN Fan 16. He came up with quite a connection to connect this to Halloween. And he connected it through these means. He utilized John Barry of the Beastie Boys connecting to John Kondo from the Oakland or LA Raiders, and this connected to the Broadway musical Austin Powers, which of course Austin Powers played in film by Mike Myers. Mike Myers' real name is Michael John Myers, another John connection. And the 1980s comedy is talking about This is Spinal Tap. Of course, the director and one of the stars, Christopher Guest, is married to Jamie Lee Curtis, who famously played Laurie Strode in Halloween. Now, this makes perfect sense, and also tied into the 1960s garage band in question being the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, that covered a song called Indian Giver, which basically was Murdy giving ILO Halloween and then taking it back for him this year. Okay, let's break it down. Now, after I tried to fit a square peg into a round hole 1,000 times, I've come to this conclusion. Name Game version 2.0 is not what I thought it was going to be. But it does make sense if you really think about it. Let's go over the clues, shall we? Okay, the name of a member of a very famous boy band. He says that this isn't too obscure. Trust me, they were really famous. And he also would give a bonus hint, and the bonus hint is he's sharing the same name as a famous Oakland or LA Raider. Obviously, I don't know football, as a lot of the viewers would know. I talked about a New York Jets zombie football maze in Orlando, but that was just a joke. I don't know jack about football. I don't care about football. But I had to do my homework in order to figure this out. But I'll explain what that is. Number 2. Alright. The name of a famous Broadway musical. He's like, okay, that's just a little bit more evil. Sorry, I did a lot of musical theater in my youth. That musical won a Tony Award, but was never adapted into a film. Okay? It means it's never been theatrically released. 3. The name of a significant other of a character in a famous teen comedy, a very famous teen comedy in this case, from the 1980s. This character's bonus connection is also a main character in this movie. And the 4th and final is there's a band that started in the 1960s that some would characterize as garage rock. And this band has a song of theirs that was covered by the Ramones. And given the fact Murdy was throwing us some more clues earlier today, he basically said that it was also covered by Alice Cooper and Rush. So let's talk about what this is. Alright? So, Hint number 1, the name of a member of a famous boy band. The boy band in question? Yep, that's right, it's the Jackson 5. And it makes perfect sense to me. Michael, Marlon, Jermaine, and Tito. Never forget Tito Jackson. He is the man, the myth, and the legend, after all. And this is referring to the late, great king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. Ironically enough, this connects to Dr. Jimmy's whiz clue for Halloween in Orlando last year. I wonder if that was done on purpose. Probably not, but it was a happy coincidence. Michael Jackson does connect to a very famous Raider. The Raider in question is a 1997 Pro Football Hall of Famer by the name of Michael Haynes. He was a cornerback who played for the Raiders from 1983 to 1989. 1. 2. Alright, the name of a famous Broadway musical. This musical is actually Beauty and the Beast. But the second part is the red herring. Why? Because it did win an award. It did win a Tony for Best Costume Design. So it does fit the criteria. But, don't forget, the animated film came first before the play. If you want to connect the play to anything, it would be the 2017 movie that everyone and their mother is talking about. So yes, that's a weird, evil way around it, but it's true and still makes it a red herring. Let's go to 3. Alright. The name of a significant other of a character in a famous teen comedy. Well, the famous teen comedy in question is Back to the Future, given the fact it's 2015, and it literally is the date of Back to the Future, October 21st. It makes perfect sense that this would be the connection here. And this, of course, is through the character Lorraine. Lorraine Baines McFly, played by the beautiful Leah Thompson. And you know the significant other we're also talking about in this question? 2 ways to look at this. Number 1, her legitimate significant other, which is George McFly, which is Crispin Glover. And that's a connection. The connection as well could go through Michael J. Fox, who, even though he's playing Marty, which was her son, Back to the Future, she was trying to be his girlfriend. And they went to the dance at the end of the movie, and of course they got George and Lorraine back together. So yes, it all connects. 4. When you come down to it, the band from the 1960s that was characterized as garage rock is a band called Love. And Love has a song that was performed by the Ramones. It was covered by the Ramones. It was covered by Alice Cooper. And it was also covered by Rush. And that is a song called 7 and 7 Is. So, what do we got here? Well, we've got Michael Jackson and Michael Haynes. So there's a Michael there. We have the famous Broadway musical is Beauty and the Beast, which is a little bit of a weird way around it, but if you really think about it, you know what I'm talking about here. You have the famous teen comedy being Back to the Future and Lorraine, and connecting that to the band Love. So what do we got? We got Michael loves Lorraine, Beauty and the Beast. That's right. Name Game version 2.0 is Halloween. But this is the connection here. It connects through Michael Jackson, obviously, and Michael given to Lorraine, which of course is a long-form way to say Laurie Strode. Michael loves Love. Michael loved Laurie, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty obviously being Laurie, and the Beast being the Shape himself, Michael Myers. That's my connection. So yes, as I have been saying, I would not tackle this until I thought I had everything in a row and I had everything figured out. Now that I think I do, I can say that as of May 30th, 2015, Name Game version 2.0 is Halloween. So right now, we've got Post-Punk is Insidious, Rock Festival is The Walking Dead, and the final code name that we're talking about now is Halloween. But we have an outside-the-box code name still to come, And when that information breaks, we'll talk about it. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I will be joining James, Tristan, and Alex once again on Wednesday for another Halloween Horror Nights podcast. We will be starting at 7 p.m. my time and 4 p.m. their time. Obviously, they're on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. And that should be a really fun time. I'm sure Orlando and Hollywood news is going to be breaking next week. And if it does, and when it does, I'll be doing a video about that. If you want to follow Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood on Twitter and get the information from the mouth of the man himself, John Murdy, you can tweet at Horror Nights. You can also tweet me at Sir Owen Disney. While you're at Twitter, you can find my Facebook fan page. It's under Sir Owen Disney Pop, or Sir Owen Disney and Pop, the Facebook fan page of the entire channel, which we call Pop here. And while you're at it on Facebook, friend request me at Owen Disney. And you can also check out some really great Halloween Horror Nights forums at ushforums.com, as well as Horror Night Nightmares. And you can check out my good friend Charles Bremer, designingfear.com, for news on all your haunt needs. Plus, you can also check out some amazing Halloween Horror Nights updaters on YouTube. My good friends in Horror Nights Updaters, their channel being Horror Nights Updaters. Their singular channels, my good friend John, Psychomassacre Films, my good friend Vic, Dr. Emmett Brown 1, my good friend Neil, UKHHN, my friend David, Crazy Englishman, as well as the Red Steel TV, Deadly Fear 1283, and Mr. Horror Nights. Also check out Admiral HHN, my good friend Tristan, HHN Fan 16, my good friend James, which is HHN Updated 1, Thrill Seeker Network, First Class Horror, which is my friend Aaron, another Aaron, it works perfectly, HHN Phantom and HHN Fanboy. Check out all their channels and spread the word about all their channels. So that's what we've got for today. And Pop fans, join me tomorrow. We are going to be talking Versus. That's right, brand new Versus. Cryptic Comet is haunting. So a lot of you Horror Nights fans will definitely dig that one. And Elimination Chamber Popcast with Aaron, Ashley, and myself coming at 11 p.m. And Monday, we have our WWE Raw Popcast, which is going to be at 11:30 to midnight is when we could be starting. Depends on when the podcast starts with Stone Cold and Paul Heyman. We have NXT and Impact coming, of course, the replays of the podcast from Elimination Chamber and Raw. Got a brand new Sip and Snack. I got the Horror Nights podcast with James, Tristan, and Alex, which is coming on Wednesday. A lot of stuff still to come on Pop, and a lot of Halloween Horror Nights still to come on Pop. So once we get any more information, I'll shoot you guys a video, and we'll break it down. So that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.